19 years old, 2 rounds from a legend's record. One night in Ontario to become the youngest world champion table tennis has ever seen. This is Sora Matsushima, 19 years old, ranked world No. 6, heading into United States Smash 2026 chasing a title most players twice his age never even get close to, a WTT Grand Smash crown. Only one man his age had ever come near it. China's Lin Shidong won his first Grand Smash at 19 years and 171 days old. Matsushima had a shot to beat that record by more than 100 days. If he could survive 6 rounds against 6 completely different styles of danger, 6 matches, 6 chances to fail, he didn't take a single one. Round of 64. Kirill Gerasimenko, a dangerous veteran who's ended bigger runs than a teenager's tournament debut. Matsushima didn't blink. 3 games, 3 wins. When Gerasimenko dug in and called a timeout mid-game trying to slow him down, Matsushima simply raised his level and closed it out. No fireworks needed. Just a statement. The kid was here to play. Round of 32 brought Omar Asar, a crafty operator with tricks built over a decade on tour. Asar called his own timeout in Game 2, hoping to break the rhythm. It barely mattered. Matsushima swept it 3-0 again, 2 rounds down, 0 games dropped, and a growing feeling around Maverick Arena that something special was building. Then came the round of 16 and the first real test. Dang Q, one of the tour's most relentless counterattackers, dragged Matsushima into an opening game for the ages. Game point after game point traded hands. Q saved one, then another, then a third. The game refused to end until Matsushima finally slammed the door shut, 15 points to 13. That's the kind of game that breaks momentum and plants doubt. Instead, Matsushima used it as fuel, steamrolling the next 2 games to close the match out 3-0. The teenager had just proven he could outfight, not just outplay. The quarterfinal should have been the danger round. Instead, it turned into a demolition. Anders Lind, big, powerful, dangerous on his day, was swept aside 4 games to none. Matsushima was so far ahead in the 4th game, up 5 points to nothing, that the umpire actually pulled out a yellow card, a warning to keep his focus in check. He didn't need the reminder. He closed out the sweep anyway, his most one-sided win of the entire tournament, on the biggest stage yet. The semifinal was the real gauntlet, Felix Lebrun. Not just an opponent, a genuine superstar of world table tennis, one of the most feared young players on the planet. This was the match that would decide whether Matsushima truly belonged with the best, or whether the run stopped right here. For 4 games he was in control, until Lebrun ripped one back to make it 3-1, and suddenly the momentum and the crowd tilted toward the Frenchman. Matsushima answered the only way he knows how. In a 5th game that swung on every single point, he held his nerve when it mattered most, closing it out 12 points to 10. Felix Lebrun, beaten. A genuine giant, slain by a 19-year-old with the poise of a 10-year veteran. One match now stood between Sora Matsushima and history. Standing in his way, Vladimir Sidorenko. Only his 2nd ever WTT Grand Smash appearance, and somehow, already a legend in the making. On his run to the final, Sidorenko had taken down Truls Morgard, Tomokazu Harimoto, and Benedict Duda, 3 of the sport's biggest names, one shocking upset after another. Ontario had already crowned him the people's champion before a single point of the final was even played. This was 2 fairy tales colliding in the same arena on the same night, and only one could survive it. Matsushima came out meaning business, blitzing through Game 1 in under 9 minutes. But Sidorenko hadn't come this far to make up the numbers. He clawed level in Game 2, and right after squaring the match, grabbed at himself in visible discomfort, signaling to his corner that something wasn't right. Injured or not, Sidorenko refused to fold. Matsushima surged to a 3-1 lead, pumping his fist, firing on all cylinders, 1 game away from a historic title. And then Sidorenko found something extra. Playing through visible pain, he threw everything he had left at the champion-elect. And it worked. He stole Game 5, dragging the final all the way to a 6th and deciding game. For a moment, the fairytale looked like it had one final twist left in it. Game 6, everything on the line. Both men trading points, neither willing to give an inch until Matsushima found the gear that had carried him through 5 brutal rounds already. Championship point. And Sora Matsushima did not blink, a rocket of a forehand that sent Sidorenko sprawling, and United States Smash 2026 had its youngest ever champion. 11-5, 13-11, 11-7, 11-4, 5-11, 11-7, 4-2, in a final that will be replayed for years. 19 years old, 67 days. The youngest WTT Grand Smash men's singles champion in history, beating Lin Shidong's record by more than 100 days and becoming only the second non-Chinese man to ever win the title. "I'm happy to have won my first ever Grand Smash title," Matsushima said afterward. "There were some difficult moments and I was struggling physically, but I was able to pull through and win in the end." Sora Matsushima, 19 years old, already a champion, and by the look of it just getting started. Follow for more from the world of table tennis.